Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning, everybody. Well, this is going to be an interesting week, folks. Yes, I think so. I'm looking over here at my charts, and I'm just looking at my, well, we've been in quite a little bit of a tight range here overnight. I'm just wondering, why does it draw that candle black? Do you know how that works? How does that work? I can't even like click anywhere to get anything to happen. That's funny. There we go. What makes it? And there's volumetric bars, color for doji. Oh, it's a doji. That makes it black. Okay. Well, anyways, here you can see here in the E-mini, we had this huge rally to new highs. That is new highs, right? Yeah, it's new highs. It's new highs for the year. A little bit of extension overnight. We'll have to see how the open goes, but it's looking pretty good over there. And then the Treasuries just getting pummeled. Man, I mean, this is a tight range down here. These aren't like, I don't think that they're quite as big of moves as like some of these, for instance. But they're still pretty big. Yeah, these ones are like $1,800 moves, and these are like $1,100 moves. So, gives you an idea. Anyways, so but there could be more downside. I mean, so this week is going to be dominated by Federal Reserve meeting on Wednesday. Let me grip my calendar out here. This week. No, I want the 27th. There we go. Okay, so we've got on Wednesday, FOMC statement. Oh, there's also advanced GDP quarter over quarter that day too. Ooh. Well, today we get goods, trades balance, and preliminary wholesale inventories at the bottom of the hour. That's news that we are going to want to look at. Tomorrow, CB consumer confidence. So there's a pretty good news this week. Then we start to get Thursday, personal spending, personal income, these things. Friday, a bunch of speakers, and the non-farm. So, Anthony, good morning. Seth, buy China. What's next with Backed? I don't know. So it's been interesting to watch that one, right? Because so many people thought that Backed was like a great reason to buy Bitcoin for some reason. So they thought, here's my understanding of how it went. People thought that futures would allow institutions to participate in the Bitcoin market finally, and that this was a huge, significant step. And then the CME futures came out, and they were cash settled, and a lot of people didn't trust it because it was cash settled. So then they got the backed futures, and the backed futures, those are allow physical delivery, and so that supposedly is a better deal. But the backed futures haven't been trading a whole lot of volume. Not surprising for a new product and an exchange that not a lot of people are on, frankly. And so that's where we're at. So when Backed was coming out, there was a bunch of buying into it, and then of course it sold afterwards. We came down. Now this most recent run we had from the 24th till now, a big run from 7,400 to over 10,000. One of the news headlines that I saw come out was President Xi saying positive things about blockchain in China, and it sounds pretty, what is the word I'm looking for? It sounds like a done deal that China is going to create their own state-backed currency. Now, I don't think that's good for Bitcoin. I mean, doesn't that just mean that they're gonna shut down everybody that's mining in China? That's my understanding of it. So they're buying up here, but of course they're going to try and buy it this time of year, right? Because sometime between now and then, they got to take profits. And that whole time period between December and May, I would say, is just terrible for cryptocurrencies. So, of course, if you want to get out, you're going to try and pump it and give yourself an out. But, I don't know, this whole push down here looked kind of manipulated. And it certainly looks manipulated now that we're up here. So, my indicator, well, you know, I haven't, need to open it up here. I can just kind of haven't opened it up here in a while. I advertise it a little bit. All Chinese chains gain 20 to 50%. Yeah, but they're gonna kill them all. I just don't get it. Come on, if China makes a state-backed currency, then anything else is going to be illegal. Anyways, let's see here. But I mean, the basic gist of it is that the action that we have right now is very clearly dominated by speculation. Here we go. So I'm showing you a slightly older chart. Okay. So we are not quite to like crazy overbought, but we're very close. And for us to go to new highs, we would certainly be there. So, and this is a little bit of a weird kind of move, isn't it? It kind of looks to me a little bit like this one over here, doesn't it? Do you see the similarity? Not that it matters, but you can see this move over here, post-gonks, and this move right here. They have a little bit of a similarity. So, yeah. And notice 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So, if it's true, going on with the longer term theory, this goes almost back to here. So probably somewhere around here, which is under 1,000 actually. That's your technical analysis, I guess. But the fundamental analysis just says we're on the high end we're in overbought territory. So let's turn on the robot here so I can hear you guys' comments. I have modified the robot. What is the intraday margin on the Bitcoin? Well, I think for backed, it's just the... Oh, let's go look. Let's go look, guys. This is a good question. And I'm not so sure I want to trade. Well, there they took a little bit of a push down there in the treasuries. I mean, I would like to sell it, but I don't really see a place for me that I would feel really comfortable doing it. The ICE daily futures contract margin rates. What would it fit under? Margin requirements, ags, index, metal, and currency. I guess it's a currency project, right? Collateral. It's complicated, huh? They only give it to me as a CVS file. Product specs. What's the specs on it? Physically settled daily. Contract size of 1 Bitcoin. And the minimum fluctuation is $2.50. That's not bad. That makes sense. So I would assume that the intraday margin would just be the price of Bitcoin, but I could be wrong. It could be less than that, which would be a positive thing for them. But they're settled daily. That's interesting, though. Bum, 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 ba-da. No, I haven't refreshed my CNBC. They were still talking about Amazon being clobbered, blah, blah, blah. S&P 500 heads for record as earnings reports signal a recession is nowhere near. Meanwhile, Rick Perry says Trump opponents are chasing the ghost on impeachment. And CNBC is blaming Xi for the whole thing. Oh, I forgot to turn on the reader here.
Michael X says with NinjaTrader brokerage it's 40K. Anthony Monroe says this weekend has been a beautiful REKKATON.
Rekaton? I heard that there was a ton of shorts. There was a ton of shorts, and they got, wrecked. When I saw on the subreddit the amount of money that got liquidated short on the 10K, I was like, holy cow, I had no clue. I thought that it had moved down to 7,500, just kind of fell on its own. I did not realize that there was that many people on margin trying to trade it short. And at this point, you really have to wonder what these guys that are trading Bitcoin on margin on, like, what is it called? BitMEX and all of those, like, what are they thinking? That just does not sound safe, because they can obviously see your positions and they just wait for it to get too big and then run you over. But they were pushing it, right? When I was looking at the action going in on Friday, definite evidence of pushing. They were trying to get it as far as they could so that they could, beat out some technical resistance. But I'm not sure that did it. We'll see. I wouldn't be, I personally, my personal opinion though, is that I wouldn't be looking for it short until December, potentially. I mean, it could go before then, totally, but December is like the seasonally a short, Well, I'm seeing a little bit of action pushing us up here. Oh, by the way, I totally forgot about Discord. Let's pull that up.
Anthony Monroe says influencers keep promoting futures.
Do you think so? Well, I mean, honestly, what else do they have to promote? So here's another thing that's been interesting to me is there's this guy on Twitter named Bitfinex. I think you're familiar with this guy, and he is the largest promoter of the theory that that Tether is just printing money and manipulating and everything like that. And he has disappeared. He has not tweeted for almost a month now. And I haven't heard a whole lot of news about that court case in a while. But there has been some points where they, how do you say, the market seemed really concerned about that. It's now this past week or two, they've completely forgotten. And the thing that was funny is like, why did we sell? Because of, Facebook testifying before Congress. It's just not, I don't think any of the news that's pushing it around or supposedly pushing it around really means anything in the long run. Like she praising blockchain, I don't think that's a positive thing for Bitcoin. I don't think so. Not for Bitcoin.
Anthony Monero says Chico Crypto is publishing today a video about the Tether cartel.
Oh, that'd be interesting. You link me to that when they put it out. Link me to that in the comments on this video when we're done.
Uzi Knesset says Yam Kamicoin.
Yeah, right. Kamicoin, that's what. I love it. That's what we should call it. Whatever it is that they're going to make. Because it's clear at this point that they are going to make a state cryptocurrency. Oh man, I thought that they were pushing up and maybe we were going to get a short, and look at how quickly it came back down. But you can just tell they want me to sell 07. I can spend.
Uzi Knesset says I'd spend time in the gulag for some shitcoin.
Well, listen. The garlic coin halvening is soon. I'm just saying. You want to get in on that garlic coin goodness, you're running out of time. I would get out there and start mining today, because after that, it's going to be half. It's going to be a lot harder to mine, and most of the garlic coins are already mined out, folks. Just saying. And I have a lot of garlic coins, in all full disclosure, but I'm not giving them up. Those are precious. There's only 69 million of those things, guys.
Uzi Knesset says I'm too busy in Brickcoin and Banana Coin.
I tell you what, if garlic coin ever goes, it's going to be the funniest thing ever. Because here was my investing strategy. Okay, it was like, okay, here's a coin, has absolutely no reason to exist, except for that it has a lot of people on its subreddit and it's a meme. And by the way, the circumstances around which it was created are suspicious, and it looks like that people were doing an exit scam from the beginning. It's the shittiest of shitcoins.
Uzi Knesset says Crumbcoin flopped on me, but I moved some assets to Pizza Coin and Cheeto Coin.
Cheeto Coin. Garlic coin is the shittiest of shitcoins, folks. And so I'm just saying, that's why you want to invest in it. Because the worst coin, that's going to be the one that is going to surprise people the most when it goes. It's the last great. I remember. Do you guys remember when Dogecoin took off? It was just this thing, and all that they were just in it for fun, and then all of a sudden these guys, I'm telling you, Garlic Coin, it's the last one, because it's the shittiest of shitcoins.
Gary Rich says just buy the best crypto and tuck them away and not trade them.
Well, I would be all over buying some Bitcoin Cash if the price is reasonable, and everything that I have says right now that it's not. And it doesn't mean that Bitcoin can't go up. Obviously, in the short term, they can take it anywhere that they want. But it does mean that for me, it's not worth the risk. So I took it out because I was kind of like, I don't think this is ever going to go. And them pumping up to 10K is kind of makes me think that, yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to get a buy. They're just not willing to give up. There's an uptick. Are they going to be able to make it above 18.5? Oh, 08.5? This does not look like a safe range to trade.
Gary Rich says just buy Tron at the biggest shitcoin out there.
Tron? No, it's not. I'm telling you, Garlic Coin is way shittier. Way shittier. I've heard a little bit about Tron. Tron has special features, doesn't it? That's not shitty. Look, Garlic Coin is literally like Litecoin with a different hash algorithm and small supply. Only 69 million coins.
Gary Rich says I trillion is pure shit.
They are doing a real chop zone here in the 10-year. So I don't know which way they come out of this. Maybe they sell it hard, but I'm trying to send
Anthony
you the
Monroe
link.
says trying to send you link Chico Crypto channel, but YouTube won't allows me.
Yeah, you have to put spaces around URLs so that it doesn't recognize it as a URL. But you could just say, check out Chico Crypto, whatever. Follow the kitty is pretty clever. Okay. Well, hey, thank you for coming in again.
Anthony Monroe says just follow the kid, he is pretty clever.
I hadn't seen you in a couple of weeks. I was wondering if you was coming back or not. I was like, what happened to Anthony? Would be around the time that you would think that he would be saying something. Back when it was like 7,500, I was like, yeah, this would be like, Anthony. This would be the kind of time that Anthony would come in and chat with us again. I was busy.
Anthony Monroe says I was busy.
I hear you. You know what? It's that time of year. Okay. So now they're ticking up on. Oh no, wait. They didn't. I apologize. They didn't really tick. They ticked down again to there, and now they're back up to where they were. It's chopping. By the way, the E-mini turned down a little bit.
Anthony Monroe says on Cryptopia.
On Cryptopia? That's an exchange, right? I think the Garlic Coin is on Cryptopia. I think that most of the volume, though, is on Trade Satoshi. And then there was the Falcon Coin exchange, but that died. There has been more Garlic Coin activity as of late, though, because they have any.
Anthony Monroe says, or a planet in my head.
Man, look at the way they do that.
Bogissimo says, GZ at Anthony Monroe, you just advanced to level 1. Gary Rich says maybe I need to leave the country and really be able short Cridipos.
You know what, Gary, it really is the case, is like to do it legitimately, you just can't be a U.S. citizen. Well, no. To do it legitimately, you either got to be on the CME or not be a U.S. citizen. Of course, you can do backed, but I don't think there's very many retail traders out there with a license to trade on backed. It's more expensive, I know that much. They came back down, and now it ticks down again. Okay. Nope, not what was supposed to happen. Well, I would have much rather have bought that 07 than iceberg there and everything. Something's happening.
Algo Lover says GM thumbs up. Gary Rich says the margin sucks to short on CME for BTC.
Yeah, it does. You have to have like 5 times the margin to short.
Algo Lover says ZN finally trades 129 100 target OK hand.
Oh yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about that. Was totally, overnight though. Not when we were around. I don't think that gives you a short now with everything reset, does it?
Anthony Monero says Justin Sun teases $100 billion partnership with Mega Corporation and says TRX is to take 4th place.
Well, apparently there's a lot more going on in cryptos than I was aware of.
Anthony Monero says scam?
I don't know. TRX is a relatively established coin, isn't it? They're in the top 100, I think. I don't know. I don't follow
Anthony
that.
Monero says question mark.
I don't follow that. I just don't hear a whole lot about the smaller coins anymore.
Gary Rich says if the 10 years hits 1.9%, we have a new ball game.
So where would 1.9% be though, Gary? You know what really bothers me is that I cannot chart the interest rate side of it. I can only trade the future price. My data doesn't give me those.
Algo Lover says 4:05 p.m. if buyers hold the market above 3014.50, then 3030.50 target. If 3014.50 breaks before trading up, then anticipate a deeper pullback. Nerd face still valid.
That one is a very much narrower range than you normally give us in ES. That's curious. Because we came like 2 ticks short of your upside target, and your downside target is about where we opened. That is really interesting. Oof. 5-year there.
Algo Lover says posted last Evo K hand.
I think that trading in the 10-year is going to be super tricky because we're not getting like a super trend yet. So, given the context today, they could be a little bit range bound anyways. But the speculators all seem to want to go short. It's very clear that the speculators are favoring shorts. So can you actually catch a short? Like a really good low risk short? Doesn't seem like it.
Gary Rich says since we broke 1.75%, its apparent risk is off for year-end run.
Yeah.
Fed gonna give another candy for us trick-or-treaters.
Well, they are going to cut. But I don't know. The way that they were trading last week kind of makes... I think that the market is kind of predicting that they're going to tighten up a little bit again. Not tighten up, but I guess they'll say, hey, look, everything's good and we think that we're done with our mid-cycle adjustment and we can just keep rates the way that they are for a while now. I think that's what they're going to say. It was kind of funny. I was reading a story on CNBC this morning about they're saying, well, the market, what the Fed does, that's going to have a big effect on what markets are going to do. And I'm sitting here like, I mean, based on what the Fed speakers have been saying and the current numbers and everything else, is there really any question about what they're going to do? Still a short below 160.
Algo Lover says, ZN yes, still a short below 129, 160 thumbs up.
So they're still pushing around here. Yeah, gotta run.
Algo
See you
Lover
later.
says gotta run, HAGD. Thumbs up.
Well, when I took that trade, the thing that was interesting about that last trade, so we came down, it was at 07 that I took it, right? And I was only looking for like 2 anyways, because I thought that it was kicking out. But they're just messing with me here. And the E-mini, good buy there. Some big absorption.
Anthony
I'll take a
Monroe
short
says
so
let in
that we can
Bitcoin
have
long
it
a
come
bit
back
more.
up. I do think there's a good chance. Well, I don't know. The problem with the long though, Anthony, is that the potential upside that we get with Bitcoin right now is not very good. So I think my calculations have it something like 1200. Yep. Upper bound 12,200.
Anthony Monroe says except that many people are betting on China right now.
Well, we've never seen it go past that. So I would, for me to really be wanting to jump on that train, I'd have to see some real signs of some money coming into the actual blockchain. And yeah, if people are betting on China, I don't think that that's a safe speculation, because in a week they're going to come out and they're going to be like, okay, here's our state cryptocurrency. All other cryptocurrencies are banned. And now all these people that are mining and have cryptocurrencies in China are screwed. Royally screwed. Well, there was some iceberging at 07 and now they're just kind of letting it fall. Isn't that interesting? There you go. Did you see the Kyle Bass interview where he
Dojo
talks
says
about
did you see the
RMB?
Kyle Bass interview where he talks about RMB devaluation relative to the price of BTC?
It's certainly been happening, though. It's been an interesting thing because anytime that the stuff was going on with China, there was movement in cryptocurrencies, but it hasn't been consistent. Just as an example, on Friday, Treasuries got killed, and dollar moved up, and then that the US-China pair did not move in the way that would be favorable to Bitcoin, but they still bought Bitcoin up big time. So, like, you've kind of got this thing where, like, central bank hedgers, I think, should be feeling the heat right now. Know what I'm saying? But then the China thing, is that really why they're buying? I say if that's why you're buying, I don't think that's a safe trade if that's why you're buying. But that's speculation. So I have just as much of a probability of being wrong about that as anybody else. But it just doesn't look like a safe trade. Logically, it doesn't make sense to me. And your risk reward is awful, because especially here at 10K. Because you can get to 2,000, so you can make, I guess you can make 20%.
Anthony Monroe says Li Wei, the head of the People's Bank of China Technology Department, has urged commercial bank in the country to embrace blockchain technology and digital finance.
Yes. But that doesn't mean Bitcoin. I wonder how long it would take them. Or do they, I don't think, here's the thing. I don't think that they say all this and now they're saying, okay, let's start development on our thing. No. They've been building this thing for like a year or more, probably. And now they're talking about it to prepare you all for when they release it. So when they release it here in a month, or maybe they do it at the beginning of the year or something, you know?
Anthony Monroe says yes, but other blockchain, their own blockchain. Uzi
Yep.
Knesset says what it means is another conduit to expand their influence globally.
Yep.
Dojo says basically he showed where gemstones and BTC spiked because the wealthy connected folks were bypassing controls to get their money offshore.
They're not going to use the Bitcoin blockchain. You're right. I mean, that's the whole thing. Well, why did I take that short? Oh, yes. Wow. I think I screwed that one up. I think I should have taken the 3.
Anthony Monroe says Chinese are the blockchain, Seth.
Oh, well. but it's not going to be the Bitcoin blockchain, right? So the question here is, how much activity in Bitcoin is from China? And if all of that activity died overnight, can they really hold the Bitcoin price? That's the question that I would be asking myself right now. Because if they make a cryptocurrency, China makes a cryptocurrency, it's not going to be Bitcoin.
Anthony Monroe says without their miners, no Bitcoin.
In fact, if they make a cryptocurrency like that, they will ban the Chinese from using Bitcoin. It will be an under the table thing that they'll do. Maybe the rich will still get involved in it, but it will be banned.
Gary Rich says China allowing its citizens to trade cryptos is not going to happen. It would allow them to exchange yuan for better assets.
Yep. And it would significantly decrease their leverage in trade war. And by the way, 75% are mined by the Chinese. Yeah.
Anthony Monroe says 75% are mined by the Chinese.
Imagine 75% of Bitcoin mining operations disappearing overnight. Seriously. You want to be in Bitcoin if that happens? Also, if China's going to make their own cryptocurrency, doesn't that kind of put pressure on the United States to make their own cryptocurrency? That would be nice.
Anthony Monroe says yup, that will be nice.
You really think that the US is going to just, allow everybody to start using the Chinese cryptocurrency worldwide? Nah, no. They're going to make their own cryptocurrency at that point to battle for supremacy.
Anthony Monroe says a new start for everybody. Dojo says every time I've gone over there, I get asked by random folks what I think about BTC. The connected use VPNs and have hard wallets.
Yeah.
Anthony Monroe says lol.
Well, the E-mini is just buying this.
Uzi Knesset says, I am curious what happens to cryptos without tradition fiats. The only reason they're worth anything today is through the exchange mechanism.
Oh, totally. Well, I mean, this is where I have a real problem with cryptocurrencies themselves, not the blockchain, but cryptocurrencies themselves, because I mean, there's going to be a paradigm shift here in a second, right? If China makes their own cryptocurrency or the United States makes their own cryptocurrency, then the advantages that cryptocurrencies have, if fiats die, cryptos effectively become worthless.
Uzi Knesset says, so if fiat dies, cryptos effectively become worthless.
I don't know if it quite works like that, but here's the thing that I'll say. They're deflationary.
Anthony Monroe says Trump coin sounds nice for an apocalyptic scenario.
I think that
Michael
does that
X
already
says
exist?
they are assets. I used to say that on Reddit and got heavily downvoted. I think now though people understand.
Yep, they're assets. They're like commodities. They're totally like commodities, like gold. That's how I would trade it. But yeah, the concept behind a cryptocurrency, I think in the long run is unworkable. Because if you base an economy
Gary
off
Rich
of Bitcoin,
says China yuan is a close-end system. Yuan becoming the reserve currency is huge F. Laugh.
How is that going to work if an economy based on Bitcoin and then Bitcoin goes through one of its crashes? That would be you wouldn't have an economy anymore. And you would have absolutely no way to stimulate that economy. That's the real problem, right? Because here in the United States, if we have a problem, we can lower interest rates, we can print money, we can do all of these things to help banks lend and stimulate the economy and get out of it. Okay.
Anthony Monroe says Bitcoin will replace bonds.
If it's cryptocurrencies, you have none of that. You have no control. The currency does what it does. You can't control the supply. So,
Jojo says in China you cannot do anything without a smartphone and either Alipay or WeChat Pay. Random guys on the street who sell umbrellas are fully electronic payments with QR codes.
Of course, because the government
Michael
wants
X
to be able to see it all.
That's why it is an asset. There's a finite amount, but more people are constantly being produced.
Yeah. Listen,
Anthony Monroe says no more fiat, shitcoins, and Bitcoin bond.
Nah. There's no way. Because the instant that happens, here's what happens, guys. You go and you have the world where there's no more fiat and it's all just Bitcoins. Then the first recession comes and you have the financial apocalypse. There will be literally nothing you can do. Nobody will be able to buy coins. Nobody will be able to do any kind of transactions. And the economy will just be stuck in a Great Depression. You will have 30% of the world's population living in shanty towns, even in the United States. It would be a total disaster. And at that point, you know what people would be saying to themselves? When the Federal Reserve was in charge, this never happened. And you know why? Because the Federal Reserve was created specifically to counteract that one particular dynamic that happens within economies. And Bitcoin exacerbates that one particular problem within economies. It's deflationary. This is really, really important. It is deflationary. You base an economy on Bitcoin. First time that Bitcoin takes a dive, it's a total disaster. You don't have an economy anymore. This whole thing about, in 2008, when they're saying it would be the financial apocalypse, the ATMs would stop printing money and all of these sorts of things, that's what would happen. So yeah, it's never going to go down that way. And the countries are never going to let it happen. The United States will just create a cryptocurrency that allows you to do all of the things that you can do with cryptocurrencies, but do them with the dollar.
Wimmer Kevin says, so when is the time change in the US? Hate this time of the year. Normally I would still be eating lunch, grinning face.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Next week.
Says, yeah, but without a fiat quote currency, what would Bitcoin's value be based on?
Well, let's just say how many Bitcoins for a barrel of oil.
Anthony Monroe says that's why the USA are doing all their best to buy back every single Bitcoin, slowly and surely.
Oh, you think so? You think that they're buying them all? Mm. Screwed that up because I should have taken no 5. But the way they were trading, it was
Anthony
just going
Monroe
on.
says they are. It's the only option.
I was a little.
Gary Rich says once crypto get regulated it loses its decentralized part. Crypto will exist but not take over. It will be alongside of all. Thinking the other way is silly. All crypto are traceable, all of them.
Supposedly there are private ones. But yeah. The thing is I don't really think that the technology is to the place where it can start to do that. You know? We'll look at this Chinese cryptocurrency. The thing is it's not going
Anthony
to be
Monroe says missed me Seth lol.
Oh, I did it not read you?
Bodissimo says GZ at Anthony Monroe, you just advanced to level 2.
Oh, I added the Battissimo.
Anthony
I
Monroe
forgot
says
about
I am
that.
Bach.
I was looking for a better way to to do my bot, and so I added the Battissimo thing in there, and so I guess it's in there. So I have no clue what it does or what cool features there are, but it's there. So now they're gonna take it bit. They're gonna go and take me out. This is really is looking to me like you can't. I can't. Have you noticed how anytime that I take a trade, it doesn't go more than 3? And they're ticking as they're going up too, which is kind of weird. But I think I should move that there because I screwed up. Anyways, once the United States cryptocurrency comes online, then the use case for Bitcoin changes at that point, right? Now, the only point behind Bitcoin is to not be in a fiat coin, essentially. To be away from central banks. I'm just saying.
Anthony Monroe says gosh, I invested last year in a project called Udo. In 5 years, I am a billionaire. I can eat my shoe.
You do.
Gary Rich says nobody knows who owns all or some of Bitcoin, claiming to know is another conspiracy.
Wonder why I was getting that. By the way, you notice that all of these changes are bids? They're going to flip this. Problem is they could flip it and then
Wimmer
let
Kevin
it
says
drop
Jeffrey
really quick.
Epstein did. That's
That's
why they killed him. Clearly. Bodissimo says GZ at Gary Rich, you just advanced to level 1.
Yeah, I don't want Battissimo on there. I don't know if he does anything useful. What do you guys think?
Gary Rich says at Wimmer no S.
Turn it off. If government's FTPA motion fails tonight, number 10's rewrite of the Liberal Dem SNP election bill looks like it won't be amended and could pass with a majority of 19, meaning that there would be a pre-Christmas election in the UK. I'm getting another
Uzi Knesset says stocks jump after Trump expects a good day in market today.
He said that? I don't see that one yet. No, stocks jump after Trump expects a good day in the stock market today. Well, things are certainly positioned to be a good day in the stock market today, don't they?
Gary Rich says, well, I might lose level 1 got punched in the nuts with Tesla last week.
Oh man, that was
Kevin
ugly.
Says new all-time highs in the big US markets, only Dow is slacking.
Man, that Tesla thing was a bloodbath. That was, they went up, didn't they? They were up like 20% or something. And all the guys on Wall Street bets that had puts were just so upset. They were so upset, guys. And it's interesting that we almost no activity down here, and notice that the activity is all in the 30-year for some reason. Looking at the 5-year there. It's holding 16 3/4.
Uzi Knesset says lots of drunks. Uzi Knesset says we're having a party in ZB.
There seems like there's more activity in ZB on a relative basis. Morning. Hey, Ace. USD JPY spikes. Oh, when was that? Just this little move down was correlated.
Uzi Knesset says we're pulling and stacking randomly for no reason.
So that move down might have been because of his comments.
Ace Trade says tried to go long 3033.00 couldn't get filled.
You couldn't get filled? It's still there. It's already passed. You still have it sitting there, or did you give up? I don't know how I feel about that on a risk-reward basis. I guess you could still get the 8 points.
Ace Trade says took it off.
So somebody just moved an order here. Up at
Gary Rich says it was a short
08
squeeze in
so.
Tesla. When the 10K comes out, us shorts will come back.
Wimmer
Kevin says, so what are those notes in the ZN DOM? 8 kilobits and T.
Yeah, there was an 8K iceberg there earlier in, when was that? Must have been a while ago. That's from way, way back. So it would have been probably on the back in September or so. Anyways, there was some big activity there back then. That's all. So it's interesting that that's where that was a big area and they bounced off of it. But I had that long before. That's from like 3 months ago. I suppose I should come in here and add up.
Wimmer Kevin says, and what's the T?
Yeah, I don't remember. To be honest, I don't remember. Should refresh my 5-year. What's going on here? Do I not have an expert levels? Oh, it's on this chart. There we go.
Wimmer Kevin says, wow, I trusted you. I am all in long since the T. It looked so convincingly.
I'm all in on long. When did I say to go long? I'm confused. Well, first of all, I never say.
Wimmer Kevin says, I was kidding.
Oh, I was kidding. Oh, okay. You was getting me for a second. I was like, what? You went long.
Gary Rich says, Seth, have you been able to find any info on who or where these iceberg orders come from? It's a mystery to me so far.
Well, it could be anybody. It can be anybody, really. Okay, I fix it. Hold on a second. So remember that an iceberg order is a feature of the exchange. So anybody that is, like has a seat, essentially can place a refreshing order.
Ace Trade says that Gary Rich might as well wonder why the market does what it does.
It's interesting. Okay. The 5-year came down there too. It's funny because I was short from like what, 6.5. Scared me out because I'm not getting the best spice, then they're not. They go when I miss it, and I'm not trading it, right? That move is kind of weird, though. See, now they're doing choppy business.
Gary Rich says I know Citadel is a huge player in liquidity with a few others.
Well, I mean, all of the big banks are going to be involved. All of the large sovereign funds are involved. Those are just some. And you know, like a 5K iceberg in the larger scheme of things isn't. It's $500,000. Okay, and some of these people are trading in billions. You know. Ticked up again. This time it's not picking up as much interest as it comes up.
Ace Trade says speaking of liquidity, I find it a good rule of thumb to drink when Seth drinks.
Yeah. You know what I've been doing lately is I've been drinking some Gatorade before I get in. I found that helps a lot. Those birds. I regret getting the second bird so much, guys. They just fight. Well, they don't fight, but Jerry just wastes his food and the other bird is starting to get fed up with it.
Ace Trade says back to my original price.
Suppose you could take it now. Although the treasuries are being kind of interesting. And the fact that I took a short, I don't know. I'm starting to get a little cynical because it really makes me feel like it's just out to get me, you know, sort of a thing. So I'm sitting here, well, because I went long, they're going to break the top of this and go and touch 07.5 now.
Ace Trade says no signal either. Wimmer Kevin says getting close to the open though.
Yeah, it is close to the open. The thing though is with the way this is positioned, you could have like a really strong buy on the open. I'm going to be looking because I think that there's going to be a buy that makes
Ace Trade says open, ridding the red rocket.
That makes all of the cumulative delta over here insignificant.
Uzi Knesset says zero hedge. We now have mass public unrest in France, Spain, Algeria, Iraq, Lebanon, Egypt, Hong Kong, Venezuela, Chile, Ecuador, and Bolivia.
Yeah. Oh, we talked about that on Friday, didn't we?
Ace Trade says spelling, who needs it?
You got, now that we have the bot reads things out and reads all your spelling mistakes, you got to be careful, guys. It's just...
Uzi Knesset says I don't need spelling. I went to collage.
The way it's falling, the way that the Treasury is moving is not healthy, in my opinion.
Ace Trade says riding the red rocket of failure. Wimmer Kevin says English is not my native language, so I have an excuse lol.
It just seems to me like there's not.
Gary Rich says Seth all you need is a snake, cat, mouse, and you have a small petting zoo.
Well, I told you I got chickens, right? So you got dogs and birds and a bunny and now chickens. We should just eat the bunny. That's what I think. No, I actually really like that bunny, but I just feel guilty because it's, an animal like that wasn't meant to live in a cage. The chicken. Or, sorry, the bunny.
Uzi Knesset says lol, I have 2 snapping turtles, 3 huskies,
Oh,
and 2
3
cats
huskies.
LMAO.
Holy crap. I hope you have a huge yard, dude. I guess Uzi probably does have a huge yard. But in Florida? Husky in Florida? Man. You let them take baths in ice or something? How do you do that?
Uzi Knesset says there's no such thing as a snow dog. Gary Rich says all the world's issues due to austerity light. Uzi Knesset says I get the husky in Florida thing all the time.
I bet. Well, I figure there's got to be plenty of people with huskies in Florida. It's just not a favorable climate to them.
Uzi Knesset says literally the first Google result for how a husky coat works explains why huskies in Florida are fine.
Okay. Okay. Well, I have no doubt that they can live and be just fine.
Wimmer Kevin says so you are the ominous Florida man? The legend?
No.
Uzi Knesset says my dogs will outlast both of us in 100-degree heat LMAO.
Really? Really? See, watch them tick back up. I mean, next tick, I don't know, but which way it goes, but watch them do it with ease.
Uzi Knesset says nah, that's IQ lol.
Oh, man. So I've been talking to Matt Z from Optimus Futures, and he's from
Uzi
Boca.
Knesset says I do know a lot of typical Florida man stereotypes.
Yeah. Okay, so you see they ticked up, and what do I see on the print there? 192 for them to print
Gary
it up.
Rich says I have 1 border collie that's hard enough.
So you can see it's just doing whatever it wants. I'm not sure that anything that we see really matters. I am getting good signals, but I'm not even necessarily interpreting them right. Five minutes to the equities open.
Wimmer Kevin says does it usually get thinner right before the Amini open?
Well, it's normal to see some sort of a
Uzi
spike.
Knesset says you walk in through my front door and there's a huge nice aquarium with a green dinosaur in it lol. Conversation starter for sure.
Nah, here in the Treasuries, we're probably going to see a spot with a lot of level 2 activity and possibly iceberging as they get out ahead of the E-mini open. And I don't know about necessarily thin, but it's often like there's not a lot of activity and things just get kind of slow. They're still bidding it so that the upticks are having big bids. Okay, so he stacked 1,000, sold 6. Well, I wonder now that they cut a little bit from an algorithm if they try and sell it a little harder now. Authorities announced curfew in Baghdad from 12 p.m. to 6 a.m. $13.03 and $16.20 traded there at 6.5. This is an all-time high for the S&P 500.
Says it is an all-time high for the S&P.
They're going to open at the all-time high. That's why I was saying there's a good chance that there's going to be a lot of buying on the open.
Wimmer Kevin says squeeze them shorties.
I guess I would be surprised if there was still a lot of shorts
Uzi
left.
Knesset says offers are piled up right below the RTH session open in ZB.
At 25? I'm not quite sure what you're saying. Or are you talking about that stacking at like 21?
Gary Rich says man these runs to highs and all-time seem so much like a blow off top after these earnings.
Well, I mean, so the thing is that they were predicting something like a negative 5% on earnings, and it was only negative 2%. And
Uzi Knesset says here we go.
So they basically decided that it was all priced in. Okay, so there was the open night. We didn't get the like right on the open kind of push. So that alone kind of means to me that the amount that the E-mini can go up is not as high. But it's going. First impulse is definitely long. And they took out targets, long targets and everything like that. Actually, they did that a long time ago, so I don't know how much further they can go on that. You have to use extensions. Okay. Pretty strong downtick. Iceberging. 04 half. Did Facebook and Apple release their earnings already? Was surprised that
Winner
Amazon
Kevin says, did
reversed the sell on
Facebook and
last
Apple
Friday.
release their earnings already? Was surprised that Amazon reversed the sell on last Friday.
I think there's a big one left. Who was it? I think maybe it was Apple. I don't remember anymore. Facebook
Gary Rich
did,
says
though.
the negative earnings are still to low -3 or 4% ISNT enough to spook it yet.
No. Well, and the thing was, like, the headline on CNBC is that they're saying, you know, nobody was saying that we think a recession is on the horizon in their earnings reports. None of the companies actually saw that. So this is still kind of looking like softness due to
says,
trade
just
wars.
For fun, I went long at 3,035.25 with one car, no reason.
Well, there you go. You're going to get at least your 2 ticks. Okay, they're hitting into 04 half again. He's holding it. Some pretty and insistent profit taking there. Former New York Fed President Dudley sees cuts this week, leaves out politics this time. He must be getting interviewed or something. Uptick at 05. So the bids hold it at 04 half. Curious. It's unfinished at 04 half. We're getting quite a bit of offer activity up here. Where is that? Around 30-40 area in ES. Oh, where did my okay. So 5 half stacking. Five-year dropping back down to 30-year seems like it's really pushing down. Okay. ES is really running now. They're going right for that. They're going right for those offers. I think some of them are pulling, in fact. Right there at 419. For 30. Whew. Okay. So there's some profit taking at 30, 38.75. Okay. There's resistance. Just traded what there was. Now
Gary Rich
10,000
says I never
just
thought a
below it.
recession or recession light wasn't till third QTR 2020.
Now there's a relatively large order at 30.42. Starting to see more show up above us in ES. Well, there's this whole thing about the yield curve. I mean, that to me, that's the only reason that people think we're going to have a recession. I don't see any kind of fundamental imbalance within the economy that says that we have to have a recession, other than that just trade war stuff is bad. I mean, trade wars generally hurt GDP. But I mean, they're making a deal, right? That's what they said. They're putting a deal together, and sounds like they're all full board. Like, let's get it done now. Temporary deal or whatever the deal is there. Yeah. Okay, so the E-mini went up and came through that 30-40 area and ate it out. And now they've come back down below it, and they're offering it again. And they're turning down a little bit. I did get a little something in the 30-year that I should have been paying attention to. And there was all of that absorption down there in the treasuries too. Like at 04.5. Take again, but then when they push it down, look at how much they stacked on it. Bought 1,000, they sold 1,000. They're holding that 06. Surprisingly enough, I don't see a major stack at 06, but that 2,000 showed up really quickly, didn't it? Okay. Well, the 30-year looks like it wants to maybe potentially go lower. And doing a little bit of a level break activity there. Certainly in their sights. Donald Trump, The S&P just hit an all-time high. This is a big win for jobs, 401ks, and frankly, everyone. Our country is doing great. Even killed long-sought ISIS murderer al-Baghdadi. We are stronger than ever before with great upward potential. Enjoy. Enjoy, folks. Did you hear? Did you hear? Mr. President says to enjoy it. That means that you should buy, right? Come buy that, yes. Fine. They don't care what he says, apparently.
Uzi Knesset says enjoy Coca-Cola.
Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu says Iran has begun deploying missiles inside Yemen in order to strike targets in Israel. Okay.
Gary Rich says, well, if you look global macro-wise, we are the last one to not hit recession-like. For now, our markets will be bought by other countries like Dow, SP, NASDAQ, and bonds, part of term premia.
I'm gonna need to move this again. Possibly take myself out manually. Well, there's still all the interest in buying it at 04. So does that mean Israel gets involved in Yemen, or are they already involved? They're making it look like they're going to take up at 04 half. A little iceberging, yep. While the E-mini went through that liquidity spot again. I think that they cleared it pretty well now. The next spot is the 42 area. Five-year ticks down. So now they're trying to pull the 10-year along. Not quite. So to Gary Rich's point, if you look at global macro-wise, we are the last one. Well, let me make it read it again.
Gary Rich says, well, if you look global macro-wise, we are the last one to not hit recession-like. For now, our markets will be bought by other countries like Dow, SP, NASDAQ, and bonds, part of term premia.
Yeah, so you're correct, but the way that I would put it is all of the major global uncertainties that have been holding markets back have been cleared, and markets are free to move up everywhere, and people are going to want to invest in the United States because they've been the growth leader. And so, you know, they're going to buy into us more than the others is kind of the way that I'm looking at it right now. Mm-hmm. Okay, 1400 on that one. So he's just kind of nonchalant. There's nothing terribly dramatic or anything about it. Well, that 30 is not pulling away at all. And they're going to stack up on him now? Not quite. Okay. Wow, they traded down through 27.56 there very easily. Here's 8. That goes easily as well.
Ace Trade says got to go for a bit, blocking in 2 points plus a tick.
Good job, man. Kind of an off-plan trade, but he got it. Okay, now the offer is starting to get a little much. E-mini's lining up for another new high. I have actually got a few shorts. Okay. Iceberg at 0.02. I guess we take it. Big old iceberg. Probably could get 15, but...
Ace Trade says agreed. Wasn't even sure if I should mention it. It was literally me gambling $50.
I mean, if you take it and you hold yourself responsible. And then we could have said, see, like, even Ace Trades makes FOMO moves. Okay, so the thing was when we were coming down there, and why I took that off, was we were coming down pretty easily, and then all of a sudden they were stacking 2,000 on the offer, right? Because before that they were just kind of going, and they didn't even have to go over 1,000 before they could start hitting into the bid and everything, right? That time they did 2,000, and then all of a sudden there was an iceberg. So I said, okay, profit taking area. Doesn't mean that they can't go lower here, but they're going to come back a little bit, and they did. It's curious to me, though, that now here at 0.2 half and even 0.3 that they're trading so much. So this is different from yesterday or Friday last week, where they just plowed through it with, nothing stopping it. Now there appears to be quite a bit of buying, and I don't know if that's profit taking or what, but another uptick. Well, I really got that. Not quite nicely. The Onion, how to find a masculine Halloween costume for your effeminate son. What? It's a video? Oh, God, I gotta watch this. The Onion.
If you're the parent of an overly feminine little boy, choosing the right Halloween costume is crucial for avoiding humiliation during your family's trick-or-treat outings. Luckily, our next guest is here to help us tackle this difficult problem head-on. Jim?
Thanks, Trace. This is Anna Stevenson, author of Actually, He's a Boy, a how-to manual
What?
for parenting an effeminate male child. Good to see you this morning, Anna.
Thanks for having me,
I'm
Jim.
actually very excited to talk to you today because when my nephew, Derek, turned 8, he started acting giggly all the time. My brother is beside himself. He's afraid
This
to
is
let him
ridiculous.
out of the house, let alone on a night when everybody's dressing up.
Right, well, a lot of parents feel that way,
Yeah.
Jim. But unless you lock him
Uzi
in the house,
Knesset
you
says
run the
lol.
risk that the lady boy will sneak out on his own, dressed as a
Yes.
ballerina. And you'll find him pirouetting on somebody's front porch with the whole neighborhood watching.
Oh, the worst nightmare.
But the good news is, with a little creativity, we can disguise your girly son as a normal kid.
Well, show us how to do that,
Come
Anna.
on out, Travis.
Oh, looks like we have a little soldier man here.
This is Travis. Say hello, Travis.
Hello, Travis.
Travis has a gun and a threatening knife.
Where did they
there.
get
But
this
if you want your
kid?
child to pick a male-dominated profession, be very careful not to choose one that's been co-opted by the gay community, like a fireman, a cop, a cowboy.
Good point,
Otherwise,
right.
they'll just end up looking like a stripper.
Right, exactly.
Now let's take a look at Ben.
Ben, come on out.
The world of science fiction is a great place to look for fearsome, violent
Right,
characters.
right.
Fearsome,
So you're a scary
violent
robot,
characters.
huh?
What?
This is also a good costume for what I call a prancer.
A prancer.
A son who skips delicately instead
Mm-hmm.
of just walking. Ben, take a few steps.
Well, look at that. Problem solved.
I want to be a pastry chef, but she wouldn't
Oh,
let
look
me
at this
because
feature.
she's got
Oh, now that's a good option.
Yeah, especially if you're losing control of the
Yeah.
situation. Here
Okay.
we go. Next we have Lance.
Oh, hey, how you doing in there, big head?
Lance has long lashes and an almost compulsive habit of twirling his curly blonde hair around his finger.
Oh, well, not anymore with that head, right?
I'm a big old bear.
Yes, you are,
The
aren't
big
you?
head also muffles his list.
Oh, well, maybe that's the costume for my nephew then.
could
Oh,
be.
God.
Now we
idea.
have Christian.
Blah.
Now, is a vampire really the right choice here?
Yes, well, vampires are flashy dressers, but it's all in the service of seducing a woman.
Ah,
They're virile
okay,
and
right.
dangerous, but here's what I want to show you.
Yeah.
By using copious amounts of blood, we have sissy-proof this costume.
Oh, now that's a very menacing-looking costume. Very masculine.
It happens
Slippery, yeah.
sometimes, sweetheart.
I don't know if I can handle more of this.
Really neat.
Where's
Now, I
the?
hope you
How
parents
much
at
more
home
is
who have
left?
faggy,
Okay,
happy
it's
little boys
almost
have been
done.
taking
It's
notes.
almost
We've got
done.
A lot of good advice here. Now we're going to head back over to Tracy, who's going to show us how effective trick-or-treating can feed your entire family for a week.
You know what is kind of weird to me about watching that? Like, my own thought watching that, though, is like the thing that I was focused on the most was like, that's really good production value. They have a nice set and a good camera and actors and everything. I got some good money going on behind that. There was some funny parts. Mostly, though, it was offensive. I'm sure people would be offended by that. And that's the other thing is like to me, it's funny about Muslim. I'm thinking, man, there are some people that are going to be really offended by that. Really offended by that. 3,000. Do you really want to trade this area? Here's the thing, though. Well, we might have another push lower. It is. Well, it hasn't given us one of those in a while. A really extension over on the upside. Virgin Galactic goes public. It begins trading on the New York Stock Exchange with a market value of $1 billion. And what is their symbol? SPCE. The new entity climbed 5.3% to $12.41 in New York on Monday. Its first day trading under the ticker SPCE. Shares rose 11% Friday after the combination was completed, handing Virgin Galactic more than $450 million in primary proceeds. I think that the space tourism, that sounds like big business.
Gary Rich says the story sucked, but studio production was pretty good.
Yeah, I was pretty, like, the thing was, I think here was an instance where, how do I put this? If you're going to make something offensive, it really better be funny. You know what I'm saying? You know, who was this guy that got in trouble from his Netflix special? The Chappelle. Yeah, that's right. Chappelle. Dave
Bougie
Chappelle,
Knesset
yeah.
says Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. I mean, that was funny. Some of the stuff that he said in there was really funny, and people were really like, yep, that's the way it is. Right. But this one, it's kind of like, I mean, the thing is if it was something that was not offensive, then it probably would have been like
Gary Rich
funny.
says get ready to short that virgin when the options come.
But then because it's offensive, it's not funny enough for me to actually like laugh out loud. So funny can't overcome the discomfort by knowing that some liberal somewhere is going to be triggered, because that's the way I am. You know, like The Office. I know some people love The Office. And I love hearing about The Office and like all of the memes that people post about it and everything, and the pictures that I see on the internet look great. But when I'm watching that show, I can't handle it. Gives me like anxiety. I just feel so bad for the people, you know? It's not funny to me. Anyways, and I think maybe I'm getting the same thing there as I'm cringing because I'm like, people not gonna, you know, there was like some clever ideas in there and everything, but it wasn't quite funny enough to justify the offensiveness of it. And like, are there really little boys out there that like that age that acting like that? Because I've never seen that. Maybe it's because I live in Utah, folks. I don't know. 030. It's a pretty big stack there at 035. Where'd that? Okay, so he just stacked 1,000 at 035. So here's the thing. If we have a push lower, and then you start running into a lot of volume down below that, you know, that can be a good sign that that's as far as we're going to go. I'm not so sure that they're going to take it lower and lower and lower and lower. And this guy that was holding at 0.3 it looks like he took it off now. That's trying too hard. It's trying too hard. So I think that there might be another push. They might even make a new low, but then that might be it. And look at the E-mini. E-mini is being pretty wishy-washy as well, which doesn't help. So I think I have a good theory on what it might do. Now the question is just, is there prices that we could catch to do that? Well, and something that bothers me is this big order at 31.5. You would expect to see a lot of orders at 129 even, but have all of that at 31.5 is a little weird. It's quite a bit. It would normally be a good target on a double distribution trend type of day. Oh, that was a big iceberg there, by the way. 4,000 by 4,000. There may well be enough to push them lower. What about in the 5-year? So in the 5-year, it's at 0.4. You know what? I do think that the yellow is easier to see. Because I'm looking over here at this one. Not as easy to see. So I'm going to change this last one. I wish there was a way to just only change the night vision. Okay. Only need that. And we'll move this in a little bit. I think that's good. Okay, so now I can kind of see there a little bit. They touched into, there was a big one at 14, And then since then, there's been a little bit of stacking there still. But there's a little bit of stacking above us as well.
Greg Orlovsky says was long ES from 3038 trade has gone for 27 minutes. Just handed it back. Last 18 minutes 77,000 contracts traded. Flat delta.
Yeah. There's a lot of volume and it's just kind of going nowhere, isn't it? Well, the thing is, I think that the setup right now is certainly bullish. But you've got this the FOMC on Wednesday to keep in mind, and it's not like we're just going to do a trend day all 3 of these days before that, right? It's going to be somewhat limited. I think that just here now in the morning session, we had a pretty good run. But now I'm seeing the treasuries are trading a ton of volume down here. I mean, honestly, when we were up at 6.5 and everything.
Anthony Monroe says back.
Hey, welcome back. We were up here, man. That was a lot of trade, right? A lot of stuff happened up there. But they weren't trading big numbers necessarily. Not until they started breaking through here, right? And then there was some big absorption all the way. And then when we finally came down to here, there was the 5K order that stopped it. And now we're distributing around that, and we're seeing huge icebergs all over in here. So, I think, given the context and everything, it's a Monday. There's bigger news later in the week. We just had a good move. I'm glad, I'm happy with where I took it off. And I think that they might hold this area and push back higher again. Like we might try and fill in, this area right here. This area might get filled out a little bit. Like, I think that they should trade a few thousand into 03.5. That would make sense. Fill out the distribution so that it's more like that. But I finally got a good trade.
Greg Orlovsky says, Seth, last trade for you on Friday was a big winner?
It was an 8-tick winner. I only took 1 trade on Friday, actually. And here I caught a good one, but I had this 3-tick loss. It was unnecessary. At 07.5 too. That's was a bad price when you look back at it. How did I get 07.5 now? That's kind of weird. I don't even know what I was thinking. What was I thinking? Let's look at this one. Oh, where is it? This one. That one right there? Was it that? In retrospect, that first trade doesn't even make sense, does it? Now this one, along in here area would have made sense. You notice, though, that when we're getting these spikes, they're moving. They're pushing it. That seems to be where I've been wrong, is that they've moved to pushing through instead of reversing. It's interesting. I can tell now, though, it's like when the push comes, I can almost, I feel like I can anticipate when they're going to fall and just kind of distribute versus like quickly reverse. And especially if it's to the downside, they never quickly reverse. And on the upside, you're almost never getting that pushing. They're just like, it just goes dead. Anyways, past 2 sessions, I've been doing okay. I don't know if it's enough. The thing that bothers me still, and the thing that I need to see a little bit more of to feel more confident here, is that I'm having some bad days and the overall win rate isn't very good. So what's happening is I'm catching so many good winners that's compensating and making me positive, but the win rate isn't what it's supposed to be anymore. Oh, I want that win rate back up to 50%. Now, I would have liked to have had on, you know, that's why I was thinking when I took these ones, oh, okay, if I can get 2 ticks, this one I should have taken the profit on. Okay, but this one was no good. I don't know what I was thinking on that. And why would I buy? It's just like, it seems to me, in this current market, if I get a long signal, that I need to ignore it. Because it only gives me the long signals against the trend. You know? So I don't know what the long signal would be. Well, actually, I take that back. Because down here, they went down, they didn't give me a long signal. And now after it's died, and it's trading in through here, and then it gave it to us. So we could have taken it at 0.2 is maybe where we could have done it. Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. And look, that would have given us at least 2. And let's see how far it gets in the next 30 minutes. But let's just say 0.2. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, I had a video come out. I didn't even totally forgot. Totally forgot. Let's go grab that. Grab the link for you guys, huh? What do you guys think of my thumbnail? Huh? It's an okay thumbnail, right? Right? It's an okay thumbnail. That's okay. It actually looks way better than it did when I was when YouTube changed something or something. Anyways, I like it. I like it. Let's come in here. Already 6 views.
Jojo says saw it. Nice.
Thank you very much. Did you enjoy it? It wasn't. I didn't feel like, I don't know. How do I put it? Well, let me give you the link here first for the rest of you guys. So if you guys could go in there, watch it, give a comment. So the thing that I wanted to know on this one.
Seth says.
Tell me about when was one of your best periods. Like, what were the market conditions around one of your best periods, you know? Because the whole thing is about when is new money coming into the market, when it can be profitable. Look at that, 6K at 04. So yeah, if you can go watch the whole thing and leave a comment and it really helps out, and I would really appreciate it. And this is one of the first videos where I'm really feel like I'm giving out like super key, like most of the stuff that I've been doing up until now, it's just kind of been like, oh, for new people and kind of more like cultural questions and the sorts of things that people ask. But this is where I'm giving you like, hey, look, if you're starting out, here's a key part of this strategy that people miss. That is probably the most important thing that I could tell you. Because when people come in and they say, okay, I've been trading this past week, Seth, and I just did absolutely terrible. And the first thought that goes through my head is, well, why were you trading this last week? The market was terrible. There's no money coming in. And if you are trading, you better be going short, because that's what the longer term trend and all of the fundamentals support. And any new money that's coming in is going short. So you want to be short and just, get in before them. That's the first thing that goes through my head. And I don't see that spoken about enough out there. And I think that if more traders understood that, I'm hoping they would be more successful. So I'm I guess I'm giving away a little bit of edge there. So hopefully people, it takes off and people watch it. And, I kind of tried to give it a little bit of a, what do you say, clickbaity headline. Oh yeah. But I think the next video, I'm not sure. I got to go through. Oh, no, wait. I know what I'm going to do. I know what the video I'm going to do. But the next video, I want to be a little bit more fun. So that's the thing that I'm working on next, is make a much more entertaining video. So hopefully it's good. 2 weeks. But next week we get another article. And by the way, if you haven't watched the article, I totally forgot about this. Guys. That's what we really need to do, because I have my video out, but we need to get this other link, because I don't think I gave you guys this other link. fact, I'm going to put this one in today's video description. And we'll talk about it tomorrow, too. And here's the article. So if you guys haven't checked this out, go and read this.
Speculator Seth says.
Cool. So I wrote an article about the sorts of things to look for when you're doing a level 2. Unfortunately, I can't come in and say, like, when you see this, there's a certain % probability, and this is your expectancy and all of those sorts of things. I've learned that that's like a big no-no. But I kind of just go through the, you need to take your own stats, but these are the stats that I would look at. So, spent a lot of time on that. Pretty big article. Meaty stuff. So give that a look, give that a read. Let me know what you think tomorrow. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll put it in education.
Gary Rich says, how about interview the birds on market direction? I would definitely give YouTube chat money for that video.
So, you know what? I wanted to do a video about the bunny. The bunny was going to make some market predictions, but I just haven't gotten around to it. Maybe I should do that one next instead. Or the birds. We could do 2 of them. Would have been good. Like, the question is, how many rate increases are there going to be this year? 3 or 4? Are they going to raise in the December meeting? I don't know what the probability will be by the time we have to make that video, though. But we could try doing some random predictions with the animals too. I think that would be fun. I need more fun videos. I think I'm just watching my videos. I think that the videos that we have done well, and the reason they do well is because there's good content in them. But now I think for me to get to like the next level, I need to make more entertaining videos. So that's what I'm working on now. But I digress. Click that link, check it out, and you can. My understanding here. So here's the article. So like I said, it's a pretty long article, okay? And, I thought that you could... Here's a reply. Oh, let me log in with Facebook. Cool. So now when I come down here, do I see reply? Cool. So you can. So leave some comments on the article, because this is a subject that I feel like we've talked a lot about on the stream, and that you guys know a lot about. And so you can provide insight. And if there are things that I didn't make clear, or that you would like me to expand upon, like, you could ask me there and I'll respond to them. But I've talked with Matt a bit. I think that they're doing a good thing, and I think it's a good opportunity to get some more long form content out there that I can't really do very effectively on YouTube. So it would be useful to people. So if you go and comment on the video, I think it would be really helpful to people. Yeah, especially guys like Greg and Uzi and you old timers. I think that you could provide a lot of help, because this is where new people are coming in, right? This is like they just started out futures. These are people that, like, they have an account and they don't know squat. So I think it's a good opportunity
Gary
to
Rich
help
says
improve the
every once in a
community.
while throw some humor in a video. It's good to laugh at times.
Yeah. Well, I try to be funny in some of the videos, but I don't try to be silly. I'm too serious, but we need to make videos that are just for entertainment purposes. You know, we're getting to that point because I have like 4 more videos planned out that are more serious stuff. And then I think that the videos that come after that are going to be more entertainment or current event type things. I really should have made a video about the yield curve inverting when it was doing that. That was a missed opportunity, but I just didn't have the time to record it. But anyways. And then yeah, there will be another video another article in 2 weeks. So the Thursday after this next Thursday. I'm kind of like switching off every other week. But who knows? Maybe I might pick up the race. I had actually way more time this weekend than I thought I was going to. And so I just ended up like we did a weightlifting competition and I just did the weightlifting competition. But I probably could have, done a lot more work. I note the Sierra charts thing. That's actually probably what I should be spending the extra time on. I want to make those indicators in Sierra charts. And somehow make all the whole package of things available to people for a good price. I'm hoping. So this was when I was getting this spike. I thought it was okay. I don't know. I thought that we were up here at 14 when I was getting this spike, but now it seems like it was so far ago. Now I'm like confused, in fact. That one's that one, that one's that one, that one's that one, that one's that one. I have this problem with the indicator where it doesn't like... Everything is the one that I want to look at. See, so you can do displacement. And maybe that's what I need to do is displacement, but if I just change it by 1, it will erase everything, so I'm not going to do that. Oh, you know what? It was over here that we were getting it. That's right. Okay. So now we're getting it right here in the 5-year. It's funny. It's so funny to say, Gary. Every once in a while, throwing some humor into video, it's gonna laugh at times because like I think we have fun on the stream, and I think that we can get in, really funny in the stream. But in reality, I am way too serious of a person, aren't I? I really think, especially past few years, that I'm just way too serious. I can't help it. That's just the way I am. Like the thing that's going through my head most of the time during the day is like, oh my gosh, liberals don't understand the economy at all. How come they all seem to think that, the rich just have all of their money sitting underneath of a mattress? It's just ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. That's usually what I'm thinking. Or why isn't this trade going my way? So I'm thinking, well, if we take an O2 half, that's what we were saying, right? And the most that we got was 04 half, and 8 contracts went into it. So probably not cleared. Wait, can we see here in the, yeah, only 8. Oh, no, wait. 672 went through it at one point. So you probably didn't get filled, but it would have been close. I wish I had gotten the article remembered about the article earlier in the session, but we'll do it at the beginning of the session tomorrow. Right? Tons of stuff to look at. Tons of stuff to look at. Oh, you know what? This one we should post on the Am I logged in here? I am. Okay. Is it gonna let me? There we go. So we still got 10 minutes to wait and see if this goes any higher than 04 half. Look, there's a big old iceberg at 03 half.
Gary Rich says, Seth, have you been to the site futures.io? Can't post the link. Lots of info there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, haven't we been through the futures.io thing? So I started this as a blog for futures.io, and I actually had a thread there for a long time, but at some point they said, this is really just self-promotion, and they're right, and so I don't post there anymore. But there's a lot of good info, although I often find that it is the info that was most useful to me is not on there. So I don't know. But that's why I've been, putting my downloads in Discord and things like that, because I felt like that Futures.io was really more about building up themselves and not helping the larger community. Because, why should somebody with their own section of community help them if they're going to be like that? I don't know. Maybe I'm probably overthinking it. Maybe he would have been like, oh, well, Seth, let's make you a vendor and give you a thread here or something like that. I don't know. But I was a little butthurt by all that. So I don't really participate there anymore, just because I don't feel like that's where I can help the new traders community the most anymore.
Gary Rich says it's a resource, nothing personal.
Yeah, no, it's totally is. And honestly, I would still recommend to people to buy the Elite, because you get so many indicators and other stuff from there that it's totally worth it. It's just, yeah, we could do better. That's all. But I only mention that just because it's I kind of feel like I'm on probation. I can't post my stuff there anymore. Okay, there, I'm gonna put it on the subreddit. Oh, I guess we could post our cryptocurrency notes too. Well, they fell back down there to O2 half awfully quickly. So that short was ended up being legit. There's kind of something to like, I think there's a problem because I use these candles and everything. I wonder if it would be different if I started doing them on a time basis. But there's this whole thing about where in the area that it does it, because they do tend to have these around areas that we change. But for instance, this one, they came down, they balanced, and then we got it. Right? Yeah. And I think that one was should be attached to this. Then we got it on the way down. Back into balance. And this one, in the 5-year, you can see it went up, and then after, and on the way down, then we started to pick up in the level 2.
Gary Rich says, good thing I didn't sell 127 puts on the 10 years, yikes.
Yeah. Wait, why would you be selling 127 puts? Man. I mean, those are probably expensive, aren't they? Or no, they're probably not very. You probably not make very much at all on them. If it works out, I'm not sure I understand that trade, but. Okay. Hope it's a Monday. Now they take O2 offer. They might. I did. The whole thing I was saying was still like they'll distribute and then they'll push lower and then maybe they'll reverse. Now I'm not so sure because it doesn't really look to me like they traded all that much in through this area. There was 8,000 at 03 half bought. Well, that is curious. It looks like some imbalance at the top here. Well, and we're getting a spike too. We're getting a spike as they move lower, which would suggest a reversal. Well, I'll tell you what, I want to go and get ready for work. But I really want to see this, so I think what I'll do is I'm just going to mute my microphone and walk away for a little bit, and we'll see if it goes through. All right? Okay, let's see here. What we got? They are still here. They're pushing into it really hard, though. Well, I'll give it till 8:45 because I basically just have to walk out the door now. Put my shoes on and walk out the door. Uptick. And the E-mini doesn't look particularly possible.
At same time? Not suspicious at all.
Not suspicious. Ace isn't my alter ego. Is that maybe? Oh my gosh. Is that like? No, that wouldn't make any sense. I'm like, is Ace like actually Tyler Durden? Is that like what? You know, we used to talk about Tyler a lot, now, but he disappeared. We don't see him very often anymore. Actually, we haven't seen Tyler in months. I think Tyler lost all his money and is out of the market. But how would I do that? How would I be able to type and you guys not see it, you know? That wouldn't make any sense. Unless it's like a robot. Welcome back. Thanks, Anthony. Unless he's
Anthony
like a robot.
Monroe says WB.
Like maybe I type in all the things to say, you know, ahead of time. That would be crazy if that's, you know, that's some really prescient. Okay, so they did end up reversing and pushing higher like it was supposed to. Very interesting, isn't it? Yes. Very interesting indeed. How high are they going to go? Are they going to be out the 04 half? And look at the E-mini.
Anthony Monroe says I am not a robot.
You are not a robot? I know you're not a robot. I appreciate it too, by the way. Anthony has been one of our most generous watchers, so I really appreciate it. And he's been around for a very, very long time too. So that E-mini is unhappy. Is something news maybe? Let's just double check here. Atlanta Fed GDP now estimate for quarter 3 dips to 1.7% from 1.8%. Well, that is not good. Goldman slashes GDP forecast after wholesale inventories stumble in September.
I was up almost 8 point.
Yeah, did you just leave it and let it run? You had taken that at like 2030, right? Or sorry, 3030. Oh, somewhere around there. Right there on the open. 1 to 43. Ugh, but there's definitely some indications of exhaustion. So let's look at our chart over here. Let's look at the footprint and see what the E-mini tells us. Well, first of all, we need to zoom in a ton. Okay, so there was a ton of trade at 30.41. And then when we filled this right
Ace Trade
here,
says, "Yup, I'm still long 3,035.25."
And there was a lot of action at 30.39.50. So I think
Ace Trade says I locked in 2 plus a tick.
Okay. So 30.39.50 is probably a high probability place to get out. I mean, there's going to be a lot of action there. There might even be some support there at 30.39.50. But if we start to get below 30.39.50, then we got this whole thing to check out. And then there's 30.37. So what happened there? Okay. So there was a lot of buyers in from there. So if we start to get into 30.37, that's where people would start to get upset, huh? Very interesting. So could I have read what? I'm wondering if we go back to the beginning.
Ace Trade says good
here.
news is that everyone is on the correct bus with food in their tummy, proper backpacks and coats. It's a small victory.
It's a small victory. School has been kind of weird for me this year because it kind of feels to me like summer didn't happen or something. You know what I mean? Like they all just went right back into it. No big deal. It was no big deal. CME Group, join our free webinar to learn about the future of sustainable investing and cost-efficient tools to access benchmark exposure. Looks like those are like heating and cooling features, because that's the symbols that they've got there. Bum, 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 bum. 3 commas on Twitter says that he had an easy day. Can I see here? Where did they? I mean, we got a good move and everything, but I wouldn't necessarily call it easy. And they didn't get 05. The birds, can you hear me? I didn't close the door. Now you're getting like the full bird. But they're telling me it's time to go. Anyways, we didn't go, so that was the move that we wanted to see. It was a good long, but it done completely reverse, so can't say still. I'm going to be paying close attention today to see if they just keep moving lower like they did last week, or if they have any kind of a reversal. I want to see if there's a difference here today or not. Because if there's not, then it could mean that that big seller is just still lurking out there, or, you know, whatever the pressures are. Anyways, I will check you guys tomorrow. Make sure you read that article in the description and leave some comments for me. I appreciate that. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.